Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Max. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're enjoying some delicious coffee this fine morning. So, today I wanted to talk about getting ready for a gig, and more so than that, I want to talk about practice expectations for the gig. I've played tons of different genres with tons of different bands, and every time I go into a practice, it's a totally different expectation. It's a totally different thing. For example, if you're playing for a wedding, you need to know every single song, every single note, note for note, perfectly, and you have to play every single part that the drummer or bass player or guitarist played in that piece of music, which means you have to learn the solo the way Eddie Van Halen played his solo. And I have to stop for a second. Eddie Van Halen passed away this week, and I just wanted to say, if you haven't researched him, obviously everybody knows who he is, but this man is amazing. He has patents. He's on records that you had no idea. He invented a new way to play guitar. He invented different techniques on the guitar that we will continue to use and try to play like Eddie Van Halen. And I know that a lot of people are really upset of his passing. And a lot of people got into guitar, including like John Mayer and all these really good guitarists, because of Eddie. So just wanted to take a moment of silence for him. So, practicing. Okay, we're talking about practicing. We're talking about going in to practice with a band and getting ready for a gig. So, wedding practices, like I'm saying, totally by the books. You have to play every part exactly right, every solo exactly right. Whereas if you are playing in a jazz setting, that is maybe the opposite. That's a total improvised show for the most part. You play the head or the melody the way it's written, and then you go ahead and you improvise however you want. So totally different practice expectation for that. And then you might have something in between. Maybe you're playing with kind of a jam band, and there's certain hits that you need to get. So you practice the form of the song, but then everything in between is improvised. And then for each project, I think for drums especially, it could be anything. It's either I want you to learn these parts exactly like they are on the record, or I want you to stretch out, or some combination of those two things, some mix of those. So this brings me to a story, and this was not all that long ago. I was playing with a pop artist here in Boulder, and it was just a point in my life where I wanted it to be absolutely chaotic. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what the decisions were. None of them were good, is all I'll say. And so I was really distracted, and we played this gig, and the practices leading up to the gig, I just wasn't interested in learning the parts. I wasn't interested in learning the songs, and it ended up being okay. Like, we got through the gig, but looking back on those practices, I was the guy that came unprepared. And I learned quickly that gig and gigs where you show up and you're not prepared, they're not fun. They're really not fun for two reasons. One, you're afraid because you don't know your parts. Like, oh God, is this the bridge coming up? I really hope it's the bridge. And then when you miss it, it's just this terrifying feeling. Not good. Never fun. Train wrecks are never fun. And the second reason is you're not tight with the band, which means, like, if you had practiced and you had gotten past the part of, oh, does so-and-so know that the bridge is coming up? Now you can start really playing music and really starting to jive or gel or lock in or groove, so many terms, with a band. And I think that's what audiences really, really love, is when a band is together and playing the same music, same time, no questions asked, and they're all going the same direction, and they're all serving the song. That's what's most important to me, is that you serve the song, not you. So anyway, I had played these shows, and just the gigs ended up being really stressful. They're not fun. And so flash forward to this week, I get a call to play a show with another pop artist. This last Monday we played a show, and he asked me for recommendations for bass players. And the bass player that I played with previously, he was the right match for the show. He was like the right genre. He had a great groove. He was really awesome. And so I recommended him, and we ended up working together. And there's this really weird feeling of, oh, last time we played together, I sucked. Like, I didn't suck, but I didn't come prepared. I kind of let the band down a little bit. And I ended up calling him and saying, hey, I was in a weird point in my life, yada yada, this stuff, weird decisions, like weird chaos things going on. And he understood. He was like really, really kind. And he said, it's not necessary, but thank you for saying that. And I'll tell you what, these songs that I worked on, he said he put in about 20 hours learning the songs before the practices. I probably got close to that. Just working so hard to get all the parts right. I charted out every single song. I listened to them so many times. I would add things if I thought they would elevate the song, not because I wanted to play them. No unnecessary fills, nothing. Like, I learned every part to the book, perfect. And we came in, and I think our first practice, the three of us, me, bass player, and pop artist, we played through the set. Like, we didn't rehearse anything. We didn't stop and say, oh, actually it's this. There might have been 2 times when the artist was like, oh, I actually would like this that's not on the record. I want you guys to change this thing that you learned. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. We had another practice after that, same thing, rest of the songs. And then we had a guitarist come in, and he had learned his parts too. He had played a bunch of shows with the artist, crushed those. And we had our show on Monday, and you guys, it was one of the best shows I ever played in my life. Not necessarily just performance-wise, but it was the most fun. It gelled really nicely. Like, we had such a blast. Audience loved it, and it was just great. It was just an awesome time. So what I learned from that experience is it's really tough, right? Because we're not getting paid a whole lot all the time to learn stuff. And so then you're left with a choice as a musician, as a gigging musician. And, whether you're getting paid really well, like we actually were in this case this week, or not, you still need to learn the parts to the same extent. You still need to come in prepared as if it was a $4,000 gig, right? You need to put in that much time, because there's a third reason too. You come in and you're prepared, you gel with the band, you sound really good together, there's no fear, you actually have fun. And 3, somebody is in that audience listening to you, and they might have a band, they might know somebody that needs a drummer, they might be a producer, it could be anything. And so every time you play out, that's you showing your skills. And so the more prepared you can come, the better. It's really, really, really important. So even if you're not getting paid, make sure you come in prepared. And especially when it's somebody's written music, make sure that you come in and you know the part, know the form of the song. That's really important. And you're prepared enough coming to the practice that you can start to tweak things and make things better as a band. So anyway, there's so much to talk about on the subject, but I'm going to cut it here, about a little bit over 10 minutes. And maybe we'll do a part B on this one. We'll see. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day, and go kiss. That's doing so good, you guys. Cut. Have a great day. Go kick ass out there and enjoy.